In fact, I remember the nickname we gave Kenyatta, that is Jomo Kenyatta at the university,
yes,
was Kamaliza, the one who finishes.
What?
We were calling him Kamaliza because people were going.
But by the time you're talking about shoot to kill, then I want us to it sounds like this is the end of the Kenyatta era.
In fact, we were shouting, shoot to kill, no way. Shoot to kill, no way. That was the chant as we were marching.
This is so powerful.
Yeah.
It's like nothing has changed.
Yeah, nothing. The more things change,
the more they remain the same. This is, okay, I want to understand this transition because I've had you from a very rainbow perspective paint and rainbow being colorful, let me say, not a party perspective, paint the beauty of being in university.
Yeah.
But I'm aware that there's a dark era that now comes in.
Yeah.
Can we first talk about then the passing on of the first president of Kenya?
I'm in second year in 1978. Already there is a crampdown because they are terrorizing lecturers who are outspoken.
Oh, so this was being done in the first government? In
the Kenyatta government. That's when we are hearing of issues that they are having issues with the lectures of people like Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Meshere Mugo, and the like.
What issues are they having with them?
You know, because they are teaching, and the angle from which they are teaching about oppression, about liberation, about like Ngugi was also talking about decolonizing the mind, about us not aping. I went to a public lecture by Ngugi wa Thiong'o
in America?
At the university. No, here. As a student, you know, there would be public lectures where now everybody can go and listen. And he was talking about how we ape white people until you are calling your children names you do not know their origin. That you can even find someone calling their child Winterbottom. You know, a name with no meaning. Yep. And that's the time Ngugi had dropped his name James. You remember he used to be James Ngugi. And he is now Ngugi wa Thiong'o. You know? So I also attended lectures by people like Meshere Mugo, Okot Bitek, you know, this famed Ugandan lecturer. As a GNC then, we are going there to have our brains sharpened, you know. And I left the university a socialist, you know, a person who wants to view the world with the lens of social justice.
Yes.
You know, a person who believes that a country must mind the welfare of its like a family must mind the welfare of its vulnerable. That's the mind I live with, and it's the mind I take to the bench. Yeah.
There's something that you've said that I don't want to skip over. Yeah. The first people who came into power, there was a same thing, a minority that were eating the bigger share of the pie, and it's not trickling down to the people, and therefore they were beginning to be a sort of revolt.
In fact, I remember the nickname we gave Kenyatta, that is Jomo Kenyatta at the university, was Kamaliza, the one who finishes.
What?
We were calling him Kamaliza because people were going.
JM
Karaoke had gone when we were in Form 5. So already the man has become Kamaliza, anamaliza watu.
What?
And before JM, you remember there were the Kongo Karumba, there were many. There are Pio Gama. Ouko amekuliwa na Moi bana. Oh. That's Moi era. So we already nicknamed him Kamaliza, and university students are talking about fighting oppression. So there's that talk. That's why we are demonstrating against a shoot-to-kill policy. Yeah.
And these cops would attack the universities.
They would attack. In fact, when I was in Form 5, I remember they attacked university students, and the good students who remained in the halls of residence got the worst. The women were brutalized and raped.
What?
At the university. and then arrested and put in cells.
Not the ones who are protesting.
The good ones who remained in, when the cops descended on the university, raped the girls.
And brutalized.
And I remember reading it in the newspaper and feeling very afraid because we are going to join the university. And those students were only released when Kenyatta learned about it, because there was a daughter of a senior civil servant among those brutalized.
No way.
That's when they were released and taken to hospital. You are being taken to the cells, you've been brutalized, raped, you've not even seen a doctor. So that brought awareness to us as female students that whenever there is a strike, be out. Don't stay in. Be out.
It's more dangerous to be passive or just in your halls of residence.
It's better out there. Better get beaten out there in the whatever of the people. Yeah.
And you guys, as the school of law, you can't be passive when all of this is happening. In fact, you're probably I don't want to call the ones the instigators, but the ones who are at the forefront of pushing this movement of going to the streets.
Yeah. And law and BA, because BA students were also very, very active. Let me say it's a conglomeration, but there is many numbers from those who are doing political science and those social sciences that sort of open you. Yeah. So we are there demonstrating, and the police attack. So I had just like today, I know the average demonstration is completely peaceful. Even the Azimio demonstrations were peaceful until police bring their riot. That's when people respond to the brutality. And we know also that during this regime and during the last one, goons are hired to infiltrate. After all, the former Nairobi governor confessed how they used to hire goons to make ODM look bad during the previous regime. During the current one, they did that to the Gen Z demonstrations. For 4 days, the Gen Z demonstrations were completely peaceful. The only thing in hand, a phone or nothing.
I was there with this camera.
Or nothing. Then on the day they march on Parliament, goons are introduced, violence. Even when they go into Parliament, you can see the kids are excited, saying, Mr. Speaker, sir. They're excited around the mausoleum. They're telling each other, you can see but don't touch. They may be excited eating the food. I believe the destruction even inside Parliament was by hired goons to stand as justification for the killing of peaceful children who were demonstrating, peaceful young people.
Can I ask, what is the purpose of the killing? Because clearly it doesn't work in stopping.
It is to scare.
It is to scare.
It is to scare and stop. And you can see it momentarily scattered it. Again, a big salute to the Gen Z for their innovation. The peace concert, the concert to pay tribute. Even in the wake of fear of brutalization, murder, and abduction, they braved it. They held the concert. The concert was peaceful. And that reestablishes the character of the Gen Z protests, peaceful.
At this time, an opposition is such a powerful tool in a democracy, because the opposition is like the checks and balances to the ruling party.
It's indeed the checks and balance.
To the ruling party. Yes. Now, in 77, we have KANU, Kenya African National Unity.
And they have banned all other political parties.
In fact, that's not what I want you to
explain. In 77, it's a de facto one-party state. They have not made it by law. It's not de jure. It's de facto. And later on in the 80s, it becomes de jure.
So there's this party that is ruling with one president. And all of these people who belong to that party.
And which determines even among party members who is more loyal. They have a gauge to measure who is more loyal than the other. And they can manipulate so that if they don't like you, if you are too outspoken, if you're a thorn in the flesh, you will not get the party nomination. You will not pass. So they are selecting. The election is a ritual. It becomes a ritual where they select. I have not voted yet.
Yes, at this time.
I have not even picked my voter's card.
Are even women allowed to vote?
Yes, although I'm 19, I joined the university in September when I celebrated my 19th birthday. I have not voted yet.
Okay.
I will later vote as a magistrate.
For the
first time in 1988 during, no, I didn't vote in 88. I refused to vote the queue voting. I had voted earlier, one election, and I didn't vote the queue voting. I refused to go and queue. Yeah, 88, I remember I boycotted. Yeah.
Okay, so pivotal time in the change of an era.
Yeah.
78.
Yeah.
I think this is, and that is as a result of the death of the first president. But I came to learn, and this I've just learned recently, that there were signs that I always thought that the first president just suddenly died. But I've come to learn that no, maybe he had some instances leading up, and therefore there was an awareness of he's about to transition. So explain what then that does to the environment.
In 78?
Yes.
In 78, you see, we are already aware. At the university, you start becoming more politically aware. We are aware that the government is oppressive and that we as the people must resist oppression. So I'm becoming more politically aware. And to me, we have christened Kenyatta, Jomo Kenyatta, the Kamaliza. And voting, you don't have much choices. Okay? So there is no clamor to open democracy. It's just clamor for human rights, you know, for giving people their freedom and for the university to have academic freedom.
I get it.
Because even when discussing academic things, from an angle that opens you politically, lecturers are being hounded.
Is that when the exile happened of Ngugi wa Thiong'o?
It's beginning around that time.
Okay.
That's when they're beginning to be profiled and to be disturbed at the university. So, and you can see we become alive to what is happening. Then Kenyatta dies in 78. We sort of celebrate at the university. The university, the mood is, Kamaliza is gone.
Wow.
Because we are not, at that time, completely aware that the regime has not changed. Is changes as good as rest.
Yes.
Okay? Then comes Moi, a little timid at first. He gets his footing.
And please explain that transition of Moi. I'm always excited when I have people who are there during that transition and are cognizant, because it wasn't an easy transition.
Let me say this. I did not view it with a complete political lens then. I'm at the university, I'm getting politically acclimatized. And Akora's, Moi is sworn in almost immediately. And the radio is kind of attuning the nation to the transition. And Kenyatta acquires a new name, Hayati. We had not heard of that Swahili before. He becomes Hayati. Before we even are alive, it's for the dead, you know? The one who has passed on, Hayati. I don't know the exact Swahili translation, but that's when we know there is another name, not Marehemu. There is another name, Hayati Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Until people start asking, kwani he was baptized Hayati? It's a Swahili name. We have gotten. Before long, we are baffled with a carriage procession during the funeral, a carriage imported from London. We've gone back to the colonial masters to be taught how to mourn a departed leader. And so many presidents descending on Nairobi, including Idi Amin, who walked from Hilton to the venue. It's a big thing.
Wow.
But I do think the university was closed. I'm not very sure. It's something I'll need to check. Because I can't see us at the university then. I'm seeing, because I can't see any procession of university students to the funeral, I'm seeing like we have been sent home.
And for the record, he was buried next to Parliament.
We have not even reached to the mausoleum bit.
Oh, we've not even gone there.
A horse-drawn carriage.
Wow.
Imported. The radio won't stop telling us. Imported, which has been, come from, whatever. Yeah. And Moi, I can't remember whether Moi is sworn in before or after the burial, sworn in as president. And, there's to be elections in 60 days, but within the 60 days, people are attuned and there's no other candidate. Remember, the party is one.
Yes, yes.
There's no other candidate. Odinga had already been banned.
So at the time, it's the president, and then the vice president would be the next president.
Yeah, and the opposition is not there because they have been delegitimized. There are no opposition parties. Odinga goes to mourn him at the State House. We see him in the newspapers with his whatever.
So Odinga used to be in KANU, but him and Mzee Jomo Kenyatta had a falling out, and he was kicked out.
He had formed KPU, which was also had been... I remember during my young days hearing a song that Kenya is only being messed by Odinga, and in Kirinyaga, his adherent was the immediate former MP Gichugu Constituency, who now did not get re-elected.
Wow.
Rigging also did not start yesterday because Gichugu was such a good MP.
Yes.
But because he has aligned with Odinga in 69 in KPU, the song is that Gichugu and Odinga and their KPU are going to damage Kenya. I remember that not through oral tradition, through the song. Yeah? Over the ridge, whom do you see? Only Odinga and his Geshoya. We must hunt them before they damage Kenya.
Wow.
Kenya.
So this was
it's
like
hate speech.
Yes, it is.
The song is pure hate speech. You are talking of hunting them like wild animals. That's what it connotes.
Wow.
So in the young mind, parties are outlawed. Anything opposing is damaging. Yeah, that's what we were attuned to.
And here's my question.
Yeah.
There's an understanding of, you've told us about the oath, and the oath means that this thing should never leave our area.
Yeah. And so, then an oath within an oath.
An oath within
not to leave Kiambu.
Exactly. But now the person who is the vice president
is Moi.
Is Moi. So before the death of the first president, is there an internal battle?
Yes. I remember the Change Constitution group, as they were called on the papers, because I was a student of current affairs, even when I'm in Nairobi Girls.
Yes.